Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duties, and so bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour. Pause there. Feel the weight of it. He's not offering comfort. He's setting a standard. This wasn't a victory speech. It was June 18, 1940. France had fallen. Britain stood alone. An invasion looked likely. The House of Commons was tired, grieving, fearful. And the man at the dispatch box asked them to do something audacious, to brace, to bear, to embody a future verdict. Today, he didn't say, we will be fine. He said, we will be judged. Live so that the judgment is honor. So tonight, we take 3 letters of history and turn them into one plan for your hardest season. Because the world he faced, uncertain, dark, fragile, sounds uncomfortably familiar, and the lessons he forged then still hit like cold iron now. First, a quick step into that room in 1940. Listen again to the rhythm. He named the stakes. He named the enemy. He named the work. And then he did one more thing. He gave people a sentence they could carry into the night. Not a paragraph. A sentence. A sentence that felt like a spine. Brace ourselves. Finest hour. 4 words that stiffen your back in 2 seconds. Why does that matter to you? Because when chaos hits, your brain is flooded. It can't juggle a manifesto. It reaches for a line. If you don't hand it one, your fear will. What Churchill did then still matters now. Write a line worth carrying into the fire. Here's the first principle. In your roughest week, stop arguing with the storm and name your finest hour. Not what you hope will happen, what you will be. If 1,000 years from now your people looked back at tonight, this exam, this diagnosis, this board meeting, this grief, what would you want them to say? Not about the outcome, but about you. Say it out loud. The words work on you while you speak them. Churchill did that over and over. He knew words aren't decorations, they are equipment. He learned this early. Long before the beaches, before the bombers, he wrote a slim essay with a heavy title, The Scaffolding of Rhetoric. It was 1897. He was a young man, brash, ambitious, hungry. But the piece reads like a manual for crisis. He lays out the beams that hold a living speech upright, the right words, rhythm that carries, the rising accumulation of proof, the energy of analogy, and the audacity to say something no one else will say, but everyone secretly feels. Why does a century-old essay matter to your life now? Because you're already a speaker under pressure, in your house, in your team, in your own head. When trouble hits, you stand up, even if only to yourself, and you say, this is what we do next. If those sentences wobble, your courage will wobble. If they stand, you stand. Think of rhythm. Notice how their finest hour lands. The word finest sits between 2 ordinary words, like a piece of iron, and the line strikes like a hammer. He's not showing off. He's building cadence so tired people can remember. When you speak to your team, don't fill the air. Strike one clean line, repeat it, build your rhythm, and watch what happens. The room starts to breathe with you. Then, accumulation. Churchill knew that people are persuaded in layers. He stacks facts like sandbags. The Battle of France is over. I expect that the Battle of Britain is about to begin. 1, then 2. You can feel the weight rising. In your life, it sounds like this. We lost a client. Okay. The runway gives us 90 days. We cut 3 costs, create 1 product, and in 30 days we pitch 5 new leads. 1, then 2, then 3. Fear hates sequence. Give it sequence, and it loses air. And then audacity. The line that sticks its neck out. He said, if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years. He knew they might not. He wasn't predicting. He was prescribing an attitude, a way of carrying yourself that would be worthy of any outcome. Do you feel the difference? Audacity isn't bragging, it's a posture. We will meet the hour as if history were looking on, because it is. But there's another kind of audacity, naming a danger when everyone would rather sit quietly and hope. After the war, March 5, 1946, in a small American college in Missouri, He did it again. With President Truman sitting behind him, Churchill stood and said what many sensed but wouldn't say. From Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an iron curtain has descended across the continent. That line was an alarm bell, and alarms are unpopular. He took heat for it. People wanted the peace to be clean, full stop. But he laid a grim truth on the table. Peace, without clarity, invites the next crisis. He wasn't trying to scare, he was trying to steer. He knew that if you can't name the shape of your trouble, you can't build the tools to meet it. That's the second principle. Name your iron curtain early. In your work, in your relationships, in your health. If something opaque has fallen, say it. Not with drama, with accuracy. What we cannot name, we cannot navigate. What we can name, we can plan for. Imagine this in your life. You keep telling yourself you're tired, but the truth is, an iron curtain has fallen between you and your focus because your phone is a permanent siren. Name it. I do not have a time problem, I have an attention problem. Feel how that changes the plan. Or you tell yourself your team is fine. But there's frost in the air, meetings drag, eyes drop to the table. Name it. We don't lack skill, we lack trust. When you name it, the next step appears. Without the name, you pace in the dark. Churchill understood darkness. We like to paint him only in bronze, cigars and V signs, defiant, immortal. But he carried heavy weather inside. He called his depression the black dog. He learned to keep walking while it padded at his heels. He once joked and barked back at it, but the joke had a point. Naming the beast takes away its invisibility. It becomes a thing you can outlast. How did he outlast? Not by magic. By designing habits that protected his mind. He painted. He wrote. He walked. He worked in blocks and rested fiercely. He found colors when the world was gray. In painting as a pastime, he'd talk about the joyful shock of a blank canvas. He wasn't trying to be a master. He was trying to be alive. That's the third principle. Build a counterweight to your black dog. Not a hobby that numbs you, one that restores you. Something that requires your hands and your eyes and your attention, something with shape. If your days are all smoke and screens, choose wood, paint, soil, strings, a lens, a kitchen knife, anything that puts you back in your body and your breath. When the storm hits, your mind will need a safe harbor that is not your phone. But even as he built harbors, he let himself be corrected. In the fever of 1940, with bombs falling and the country stretched to the bone, he was hard on people. Sharp, sometimes cutting. In a private letter, Clementine, his partner and fiercest ally, told him truth in love. She basically said, "Winston, your manner is hurting the work." Imagine receiving that while carrying the weight of a nation. He read it. He adjusted. The lion listened. That's the fourth principle. Let truth make you softer without making you weaker. Leadership under fire can turn your edges to knives. The mission matters, but so do the people carrying it. If someone you trust tells you your urgency has turned to unkindness, hear them. You can be bracing without being brittle. You can be decisive without being cruel. Churchill fought a war. He still chose to be teachable. Now watch how these 4 lines of steel fit together. First, set the verdict, your finest hour. Second, build the voice that can carry tired people through. Third, name the curtain before it traps you. Fourth, accept correction so your strength doesn't crack the hands that hold the line with you. But imagine if we stopped there. Powerful, yes, still missing something. Because Churchill's real secret wasn't only in the big speeches. It was in the hours no one saw, the small choices, the schedules, the deliberate practice of focus. He would dictate while pacing. He would sleep in short bursts and then wake to write again. He loved routine because routine protects attention, and attention is the currency of courage. He once told his staff, "Never waste a good crisis." Not for politics, but for clarity. Crises force decisions you avoid when times are comfortable. When the room is on fire, you discover what actually matters and what was just nice to have. He trimmed meetings, simplified lines of command, demanded clarity in 1 page, not 15. The lesson converts cleanly to your life. When everything is urgent, pick one thing that actually moves the line and do it until it's done. Courage grows when you finish, not when you start 15 things at once. So, how do you design your finest hour tonight? You give yourself one sentence, one rhythm, one name for the real problem, one practice that restores you, and one person you will listen to when your edges start to cut. That's it. 5 moves. Take them seriously, and you'll feel the room change around you, even if the room is only your mind. Now you might be thinking, hasn't this all been said before? Sure, but hearing and doing are different nations. Churchill's gift was to turn hearing into doing. He did it with language that sticks to your ribs. Try this with me. You say, this is my finest hour. Then you add the mission. Tonight, my finest hour means I will finish the hard call, no evasion. Then you lock your cadence. Call, decide, document. 3 beats. Then you name the Iron Curtain. I'm not tired. I'm afraid of their reaction. That's the real storm. Then you choose your counterweight. After the call, I walk for 20 minutes. No phone. I breathe. I come home. Then you pick your truth teller. If I'm short with my team, I'll ask Sarah to tell me straight. I will listen. This is how you build a life that can carry weight. Let's drop into a scene. It's late. The map room hums. Cigarette smoke curls under a single lamp. Telegrams chatter like distant rain. He leans over a map of the channel. Pins, threads, numbers. Outside, the city is tired. Inside, the words are getting their edges honed. The speech is almost there. He crosses out a phrase, shortens a sentence, moves a clause. The rhythm tightens. A piece slides into place. Their finest hour. That exactness, that care. He wasn't polishing for applause. He was sharpening a tool for survival. What's your map room? Where do you go to shape language that can carry you? A notebook? A whiteboard? The notes app you never open with the seriousness it deserves? Turn one corner of your world into a map room. Not dramatic, just consistent. 15 minutes a day where you step out of reaction and into intention. Write your lines. Trim them. Repeat. That's how you give courage a body. Halfway through the war, a pilot wakes in the dark. He's flown too many sorties. The odds aren't on his side. He murmurs the line he carried from the Commons. Finest hour. Does the enemy care about that line? No. But the pilot does. And that difference, the one in a single mind at 3 a.m., has a way of spilling out into the world. Here's a quiet truth. The world is changed by people who carry 1 or 2 lines that never leave them. What will yours be? Mid-roll moment, and a question for you. Which of these 4 Churchill moves do you need most right now? Naming your finest hour, building your rhythm, calling out your Iron Curtain, or choosing a counterweight to your black dog? Tell me in the comments. If this is sharpening you, tap like and subscribe so we build an archive of courage that's there the next time the lights flicker. Back to the war room. The cadence matters, but so does the content. Churchill wasn't just a poet. He was a planner. He framed reality, then he pushed action through a narrow gate. He told people exactly what they could do. Not all of it glamorous. Many times it was this: endure. Do your job. Keep the lights on. Watch the skies. Send the reports. Wait. Waiting feels like failure. But waiting with a plan is a weapon. Your life has seasons where the greatest courage is to hold the line, not chase a new horizon. That's not passive. That's strategic patience. You save energy. You keep faith. You stock your inner shelves with rest and craft and a little joy so that when the window opens, you're not too drained to walk through it. Churchill loved the word resolve. Not hype, resolve. It's a decision you renew every morning. You might not control the outcome. You control the posture. Try saying it with that old iron cadence. We will resolve to do this work, and whatever the verdict of tomorrow, we will be found at our post. You don't need a podium to speak that way. You just need a mirror, and when you falter, and you will, remember his other enduring lesson. Failure reshapes you. It does not define you. He crashed spectacularly before the war. Gallipoli nearly ended his career. He sat in the wilderness, mocked, dismissed. Then history turned, and the skill set nobody wanted became the one thing that could hold the island together. What the world calls too much in peacetime sometimes becomes just enough when the storm blows in. Do not sand off your edges so smooth that you cannot grip your own life. Discipline your edges, aim them, but don't erase them. The things that made you hard to place might be the exact things you'll need when your hour arrives. Look, none of this is comfortable. It's not meant to be. Courage isn't a mood, it's a muscle built under load. Churchill's letters and speeches weren't bedtime stories. They were instruments. He tuned them for cold mornings and late nights. You can do the same. 2 minutes with your notebook. Write your finest hour line for tomorrow. Choose one rhythm of action. Name one iron curtain. Choose one counterweight. Ask one person to tell you the truth when you can't see yourself straight. 5 moves. That's it. If you do this for 30 days, you will feel a shift. Not fireworks. Something subtler. A steadiness. Panic will still knock, but it won't get a seat at the table. You'll hear the old cadence in your own voice, the one that says, "We know what to do next." Before we close, stand again in that chamber in 1940. Imagine the quiet after he finished. No music, just the scrape of benches, the breath of men and women who knew exactly how dark the next weeks might be. And yet, something had changed. The line existed now. It would walk the streets, enter kitchens, fly with pilots, sit in shelters, stand in factories, ring in ears at 3 a.m. It would do what good words always do. It would hold. And in 1946, when he warned of a curtain of iron, imagine the sighs, the irritated editorials. Yet clarity, spoken early, saves lives. The world is noisy with wishful thinking. Be the calm voice that says the thing that is true, and then builds a plan people can actually carry. And when the black dog pads in, do not negotiate with it in the abstract. Go outside. Touch wood, water, sunlight. Make something ugly and colorful. Laugh when you can. Let yourself be mended by ordinary things. Courage is not constant. It's cultivated. He cultivated it in oils and gardens and sandwiches at a table piled with papers. Find your versions of those humble graces. There is one last thread to pull. He didn't promise victory. People misremember that. He promised effort at the level of history. The line in your life isn't, "I will win." The line is, "I will be worthy." Worthy of the trust people placed in you. Worthy of your own talent. Worthy of the chance to try. You can already feel the difference, can't you? Winning is out there. Worthiness is in here. One you can't control. The other you can renew tonight before you sleep. So if you need a sentence to take with you, carry this. Brace yourself to your duty and bear yourself so that, in a year, in a decade, when someone tells the story of this stretch of your life, they can point to this month and say, that was their finest hour. He would say it to you the way he said it to his country, plainly, with weight, with the humor that winks even in the dark. Keep going. Keep speaking in clean lines. Name the thing. Take the walk. Take the correction. Sharpen your words until they can carry you. And when the night feels endless, remember, the hour doesn't define you. You define the hour. Now go build a sentence you can carry into the storm, and let it carry you back out.